Turn off the music. So my name's Lanice and I'm a nurse. I like nursing because it keeps money in my purse. So if you like my chant and know, y'all make sure you subscribe. Oh, ha. Multi-talented. Y'all ain't even know I had it in me. I got a little rhythm, I got a little rap or whatever. But anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and warn y'all right now, I'm going to be eating during this video because I would have had to choose between eating peacefully and possibly recording this video and being upset that I didn't go ahead and eat. So we're gonna do both at the same time. I can multitask. So good, now that I got that kind of situated, got a roll here. Just in case you guys are wondering, I am eating kava. Can you see it? Kava. Anyways, I don't know where you're located, but I live in Charlotte and we have a couple kavas. But when I lived in Winston-Salem, we didn't have a kava. We actually had chopped, which is actually very good. They make very good salads, and it was actually a choice between chopped or kava for me. But every time I go to chopped, I get the same thing. Shoot, every time I go to kava, I get the same thing. But I guess because I'm so used to eating chopped all the time, kava is my new chop. Oh, how rude am I? My name is Lanice. Sorry. My name is Lanice, and if you have not been to my channel, my name is Lanice. I am a registered nurse in the state of North Carolina. I deliver all sorts of kinds of videos for you guys, including nursing videos, mental health videos, lifestyle videos, all that good stuff. I'm sure you guys want to see it all because it's from me, of course. But anyways, today I wanted to deliver you guys a nursing video because honestly that's what I focus on the most, because that's what I do every day. And honestly, it's what I'm good at. So today will be about nursing. And today I just wanted to talk to you guys about my experience with RN school. Now granted, I first started off as an LPN. Let me also tell you guys that if you didn't already know. Like, I'm an LPN in 2014 and I went back to school in 2019, graduated my RN in 2020. So I've been a nurse about 6 years now. Almost 7. Oh my god, this food is so good. So yeah, I've been a nurse for a little bit of time. And I guess I'll kind of just go into LPN school and RN school, what I think about both of them. So LPN school, I believe, is an amazing foundation for somebody who wants to become a nurse but isn't quite sure if nursing is for them. Now, I will say that because the cost of going to school at a community college is a lot lower than going to a university. And if you want to get your nursing degree, whether it be LPN or RN, you will save a lot of money. Even if you don't want to become an LPN, I suggest that everybody that wants to go to nursing school goes to a community college, because me having my ADN and the person working nurse next to me with their BSN, I've seen people with BSNs who don't make what I make an hour when I have an ADN, just because they don't have as much experience whenever they get into the field. That's neither here nor there. We're not here to compare salaries. But I said that to say, you don't have to have a BSN to, you know, get a good job in nursing. You don't have to have a BSN to do anything unless you want to take on a leadership position. And to be honest with you, a lot of the nurses that I see in the hospital who are in like manager positions or lead positions, they all have their masters anyway. Everybody is like continuing your education as a nurse is something that most people, I want to say 8 out of 10 people, want to do. Now there's some people who continuing their education is not for them, and I completely understand that. But I would just wanted to say that I suggest that people go to community college to save money, because even if you go to community college, get your LPN or your ADN, and then you transfer to a university and get your bachelor's degree, you still save money, because going to a community college for 2 years and getting that foundation as a nurse, you won't have to pay as much when you go back to get your bachelor's, because you're not earning that, you're not having to get as many credits at that university. So the first 2 years that you're at a university is basically all the prerequisites that you can get at a community college. So paying for the credit hours at a community college, taking those classes that you're going to take at a university anyway. If you're wanting to save money, not having to take out student loans, I strongly suggest that. So yeah, that's just my humble opinion. But yeah, LPN school was 3 semesters long. I went to a community college, as I just stated, and I believe that LPN school, me having my LPN before transitioning, ooh, that's hot. Before transitioning to get my RN, I feel like it gave me an amazing foundation. Whenever I did step into the even before working in the hospital, I may not have had all of the book knowledge that I had gotten in the year that I transitioned into getting my RN, but I did have that bedside manner. I did know my medications already. If I had to say anything, I feel like I still had a leg up, not to compare myself to anybody that I was in nursing school with. When it came to patient care, I did have a leg up on the nurses that I was in RN school. The people that attended RN school with me, that my classmates at that time who started off as registered nurse, the people that started with a degree as registered nurses that didn't go, you know, through the LPN, when we would go to clinicals, I would kind of soar, because like I said, I already knew the medications, I already knew how to handle patient care. Now when it came to the book knowledge taking tests, we were neck and neck, because this was knowledge that these were concepts that I had never understood, and being an RN, having the role as an RN, it is way different when it comes to like leadership, being able to call the shots. Anybody who's already an LPN, you understand that, not that you're under the RN, but the RN has a lot more, they have a lot more responsibility. So yeah, but LPN school was 3 semesters, 18 months, however you would like to say it. And LPN school to me was a good foundation, like I said. Now when I was in LPN school, we were only required, not to say that only, but we were required to pass every class with a 78, which I guess will be considered a C. In college, it might not be considered a C in high school, but in college, a 70 to a 78 is considered a C. And so that right there made it a little bit easier. But I will say, them only requiring us to get a C, it makes you less competitive, because in LPN school, I'm not gonna lie, I made all C's in all 3 semesters, which means whenever I go and I apply for a university, or I apply for a higher degree, I will probably have to more so have a stronger essay, or have a stronger reference letter, whatever it's called, than the people who went to nursing school and made A's or B's, of course, because grades are the #1 not determining factor, but they're the heaviest determining factor when it comes to furthering your education as a nurse. You know, grades are looked at basically in everything you do. That makes you more competitive. It shows people that you really grasp the concepts and understand the knowledge more than somebody who didn't. Not necessarily that you're smarter, because some people just put more effort towards school. Some people, my situation was I was working full-time Monday through Friday. Every now and then I got to switch my schedule and work the weekend when I was in LPN school. So I really only had enough in me to give class enough to get by. Now if I probably wouldn't have went to school at all, I went to work at all, I would have more time to focus on my studies, which is what I had to do in RN school. So outside of, you know, LPN school giving me a good foundation and being cheaper, you know, I honestly, just to give you a con, I honestly didn't have, the requirements for LPN school are lower. So when it comes to me furthering my education, I am going to have to work a little. So before I was rudely interrupted as always by my memory not being, Lord, I felt, hold on one second. One more thing, y'all, I need to adjust. Okay, I think that's a little bit more lighting. It's dark skinned people, we gotta work a little bit harder for that good light. But anyways, so yeah, I feel like LPN school wasn't as competitive, which will kind of hinder me in continuing my education in programs. Like if I wanted to go and get my CRNA, they will look and see that I made all C's in my nursing courses, and I would have less of a chance of getting in, of course. So that's that. But what I will say about LPN school was becoming an LPN awarded me the opportunity to make money when I graduated sooner than I would have, because I only had to go to school for a year, and then afterwards I was able to make money, like more money than I was making at that time, enough money to not have to live you know, at the poverty line. I guess I made really good money, I guess, as an LPN. So yeah, that's another benefit, I guess. But attending LPN school, I will say it was just as hard as RN school. Maybe not the material, but what they expected of you was just the same thing they expected from you as an RN. I went to LPN school and RN school at the same school, and at the school in both programs, I was still having to either do a 12-hour clinical every week or doing 2 6-hour clinicals during the week. I still had to be punctual no matter what. I still did clinicals at the hospital. As an LPN, I did clinicals at the nursing home, and I also did them in the hospital at a floor that hires LPNs. So I was still expected to be on time, be punctual. The same rules applied. If you don't get to class within the time that class starts, you have to wait for the next hour whenever the class gets a break. That was both LPN and RN school. So like I said, I was still learning the same responsibilities of a nurse. As far as, you know, being a nurse, it's very important that you are there on time. So, you know, and you have a lot of expectations from you whenever you're a nurse, no matter, regardless of what type of facility that you work in. Also, being an LPN, like I said, I was able to know a lot of the medications, but also going to LPN school and becoming an LPN gave me a hint or a taste of what nursing is like. Now, the jobs that I held as an LPN are nothing compared to the job that I hold as an RN at the hospital, because I'm getting a lot more experience in acute care, and I have to know how to prioritize, which in the nursing home or as an LPN you kind of have to prioritize, but the types of jobs that I had as an LPN didn't require much prioritization. You also have to be able to critically think a lot more as an RN. So, but outside of that, I did enjoy LPN school. I did make a lot of nurse friends that some of them I still talk to this day. And I feel like it gave me a very good foundation to RN school. Now, RN school, I would say that even though you still had to do the same amount of clinicals, the work and what is required is a lot more. The classes, even though we had less tests per semester, the classes were a lot harder. You still had to put a lot more time into studying, which is the reason why towards the end of RN school I just couldn't work, which was great because the pandemic came around, so I had no choice but to focus on school and focus on studying because I was in the house all the time. I don't even know if I would have passed I would have passed because I have enough confidence in myself, but it made it a lot easier to pass when the pandemic started. So you have to put a lot more time towards studying in RN school. You have to actually read the books in RN school. You're not gonna get by if you don't understand the material. In RN school, the questions of course are a lot harder because the responsibility is a lot greater, but RN school was just like LPN school. I really enjoyed it. Would I go back to working at some of the jobs that I worked at as an LPN? Probably not. Right now, I don't think I would go back to the nursing home or any of the other facilities that I worked as an LPN unless the pay is amazing. Because I really enjoyed my role as an RN. And I feel like going to both LPN and RN school made me a tougher person mentally, and it made me a stronger person just, you know, altogether. I saw how far I could stretch my brain when it came to studying and building better habits, because you have to be dedicated to school regardless if it's LPN or RN school. You have to be dedicated to it, which is why I see you see a lot of people who start nursing school and don't finish, not only because they don't pass the classes due to their grades, but because they don't have enough endurance to go to class 5 days a week and still, you know, take care of their children, whatever the case may be. Not speaking down on anybody, but it is very rigorous. It is very time consuming, and when you get out of class and you get done studying, you really don't feel like doing anything else. You have to really be strong mentally. You have to really push yourself to go nights without sleep in both the LPN and RN programs. But I will say, if there is anybody out there that is interested in becoming a nurse, you don't have any experience as a nurse right now, I would really suggest just jumping out there. And if you are dedicated to it and you put a lot of focus, you put all of your focus into nursing school, you will pass, you will graduate. And I feel like this career is a very rewarding career. And I will say that as an LPN, you do get a taste of what it's like being a nurse. But the types of jobs that you can have is very limited compared to an RN role, and I can probably tell you guys more about the types of jobs that both LPNs and RNs can have, because there are a bunch of jobs that nobody's probably ever heard of as a, nursing jobs that probably people never rap or whatever. But anyways, so I really enjoyed my experience going to nursing school. At the moment, at the time, I didn't. So if anybody's in nursing school and you're going through that grueling uphill battle, just know once you get done with nursing school, it's all downhill from there. And not in a negative way, but I'm saying it's a lot more breezier than there. I feel like, and a lot of people told me that getting your ADN is the hardest part of school when it comes to or getting your RN is the hardest part of school when it comes to nursing, because the next steps in continuing your education are a little bit easier because you already have an amazing foundation. So if anybody is out there wanting to nurse, to become a nurse, or any nurse out there wants to further their education, I'm here to encourage you to do it. I am here because I am living proof that you can take one step at a time and still be on your way to your end goal. And I just don't want anybody to feel discouraged, because nursing school is hard. That's why it's very hard to get into. And if you're having a hard time getting in, please do not give up, because I got, I guess, rejected, or I didn't get into nursing school when I applied 3 times. I actually did not get my RN. I wanted to get my RN as soon as I got my LPN, but like I said, I didn't end up getting my RN until 6 years later, and that's because I did not ever give up. So it's possible. When it's your time, it's your time. And I hope that you don't give up just because it's very time consuming or it's very hard, or because a lot is expected of you, or because of the responsibility. If it's really in your heart and you really feel like that's your purpose and that's what God wants you to do, then you just need to go for it. You need to do it. So that's really all I wanted to share with you guys and talk to you about. I hope I made some good points. And if you guys have any questions, I ask that you just leave comments down below. I am here to answer any of your questions. I am here. Sorry, y'all, I went rollerblading and my knee hurts really bad. But I am here for all your nursing needs. Yeah, just like, subscribe, and share my page, my channel. And my name is Lanice, in case you missed that at the beginning. And I'm out.